David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I did my first gig back last night. Well, my first 2 gigs back. It was a double header. Back into stand-up comedy. Back doing what I love. God, I love stand-up comedy. It's so rewarding. Stand-up comedy is a great way to crush any type of ego you have. It's also a great way to falsely inflate your ego as well. So it's a very dangerous thing, stand-up comedy. It shouldn't be done by unstable people, and really the only people in comedy are very unstable people. The swings in stand-up comedy are fucking brutal. So for starters, this joint was in some sort of back alley fucking warehouse, and I would say, if not everyone there, then 99.9% of staff, comedians, and audience was smoking weed in the warehouse before we even started. Everyone was fucking high, and I was getting contact high as well. There was that much smoke in this giant warehouse. That's how much weed people were smoking. This giant warehouse, it was like there was a smoke machine going off in each corner. So the 7:30 show started about 8. That's what happens when everyone is high. And that didn't go too bad. I've got no material at the moment. I'm trying to start from scratch again. Like, I have ideas for jokes and little half put together fucking thoughts, but you really don't know how the fuck they're going to go until you get in front of an audience. And yesterday was the first time I've been in front of an audience. And what happens is, when you're in my position where you're trying to build a whole new fucking hour of stand-up, if you run into a couple of fucking dead ends, you've got no way out. Usually, if I was using all my old material, you'd hit a dead end and then you've got fucking a bank of material to fucking follow up with. It wouldn't be that much of a concern because you know you've got something that will eventually hit. But at the moment, if shit doesn't hit, then it's over. Then it's just floundering. But that first show, the few ideas I had, they went well. They came out fluently enough. The crowd enjoyed it. I ran out of steam at about 7 minutes. I was doing 10 minutes. I ended up doing 12 minutes. But the last 5 was just sort of fucking around, really. But I was happy with that gig. I've got a couple of tiny little rays of sunlight. Just small, maybe they could turn into something. So the 7:30 show finished. They changed crowds over. Well, if the first crowd was high, then the second crowd, they were all on acid. One lady in the first row, I don't know what the fuck she was. I don't even know what the fuck was going on. But she looked like she had downed about 8 fucking tabs before she got in. She was just on a different fucking planet. And for some fucking reason, I decided to engage her. And there was just nothing coming back. And then for some reason, I pressed a little bit harder to get her to fucking start speaking. And she still wouldn't speak. And by the time all this had happened, the entire crowd had soured towards the lovable Boyle. I may have said a couple of mean things before I even started jokes. And so once I had turned the crowd against me, I decided to go into material. And the material just wasn't strong enough to bring the crowd back. And once I had lost them and I had started bombing, which was pretty much immediately, to be honest with you, none of that second show went well for me. None of it at all. But once I started bombing, I just leant into the bomb. That's all I could do. That's what I normally do. I don't know what type of sadistic sort of shit that is, but when I'm bombing and it's all going bad, and it was going bad, I just instinctually decide to make it worse. I'm just like, well, if it's going to be bad, let's make it as bad as it can possibly be. So I just stayed up there. Everyone wanted me to get off stage. The audience did. The other comedians did. The MC wanted me to. The bar staff wanted me to leave. But I just stayed up there. And it's not like I stayed up there with heaps of shit to say either. I was sort of just half mumbling, half trying to think of jokes, and then thinking of little bits of ideas and saying half words. And it was a very confusing time for all of us. I did get one big applause break though. That was when I was like, all right, I'm out of here. And the crowd cheered. But it was very humbling. You don't come out of one of those bombs the same person. Your ego gets obliterated. You go to turn to find some ground to stand on, and there's nothing there. And then you begin questioning your whole existence. Like, I don't work hard enough, I need to do more work. I really don't put in the time. I need to love my family more. I need to build a better relationship with my mum. I need to call my brother more. There's a lot of shit I need to work on as a human being. That's why you need to bomb. That's why you need to have bad trips. That's why you need to get your fucking ass kicked every now and then. You need a sobering fucking reality check. What really happened was the first show went better than I thought it was going to go. So I didn't do anything between shows. I just hung out with comedians and talked shit. Instead of going over my shit again and sorting it out, I decided I'll just wing it. I've got my shit down. It's all sweet. And it wasn't. I was definitely due for a big bomb. I hadn't had a proper bomb since we got out of lockdown. But the good thing is I was bombing because I was trying new material. It wasn't because I was doing old material and it went shit. I was actually doing what I set out to do. It still hurt like fuck though. And after the second show, we ended up going to the studio and recording an episode of my other podcast, the Oppression Chamber podcast. And that was fucking fun as fuck. We ended up doing like 2 hours or something. So that will come out sometime next week if you want to hear a more in-depth discussion about last night. That will come out. I'll call the episode Dumpster Fire. So just look for that if you want to hear more about last night. Anyway, that's it for me tonight. It's another quiet Saturday night for the Boyle. And yeah, enjoy yours. I'll see you the fuck later.